Hello and welcome. In this session, we will walk through how to test key IT general controls in applications, and most importantly, how to perform those tests effectively. Before we begin, it is important to highlight a key principle from the ISACA IT Assurance Framework, also known as ITAF. ITAF emphasizes that auditors must possess the necessary competence, knowledge, and skills to perform the audit work they are assigned. In simple terms, as an IT auditor, you must understand the system, the technology, and the control environment before you can effectively test it. This is critical when auditing applications. Now, what are IT general controls? IT general controls are the foundational controls that ensure the overall reliability, security, and integrity of IT systems and data. They are not specific to one transaction or process. Instead, they provide assurance that the systems supporting business processes are functioning properly. In simple terms, if ITGCs are weak, you cannot rely on the system. And by extension, you cannot rely on the data or reports generated from that system. Why are ITGCs important? Because every automated control, report, or data-driven decision depends on the underlying system. If unauthorized users can access the system, if changes are made without approval, or if system jobs fail without detection, then the entire control environment is compromised. That is why ITGCs are a critical focus area for IT auditors. IT general controls are typically grouped into three key domains. 1. User access management. 2. Change management. 3. IT operations. Let's now take a deep dive into each area, what to test and how to test effectively. First, user access management. The objective here is to ensure that access to systems is restricted to authorized users and aligned with their job responsibilities. Key controls to test include user access provisioning, user access modification, user access revocation, privileged access management, periodic access reviews. Now, how do you test these controls? Start by selecting a sample of users. A typical list of users on an application is displayed on the screen. For access provisioning, obtain access request forms or tickets. Verify that access was requested, reviewed, and approved before it was granted for the sampled users. For access revocation, select terminated or transferred employees and verify that their access was removed promptly, ideally within a defined timeline. As shown on the screen, the terminated or exited staff access should be showing as inactive, indicating the access is no more active. Auditors test this control by reconciling the list of exited staff with the list of staff on the application. One key area auditors also test is the access rights users have on the application. Auditors carry out access rights review to ensure that users have what is required for their job functions. One of the key areas to check is those that have privileged access rights on the system. These users or accounts typically have access permissions that go beyond what a normal user will have. For example, an employee having admin role may be able to carry out most tasks on the application as shown on the slide. For privileged access, review administrator accounts. Confirm that access is restricted, approved, and subject to enhanced monitoring. For access rights modification, confirm that any changes to roles or permissions were properly authorized and documented. For periodic access reviews, verify that management performs regular reviews of user access and that any identified exceptions are resolved. Next, change management. The objective of change management is to ensure that all system changes are properly authorized, tested, and implemented without introducing risk. Key controls to test include change request documentation, approval of changes, testing and validation, segregation of duties, controlled migration to production. How do you test these? Select a sample of changes from the application change logs. A typical change log is shown on the screen. For each change, verify that a formal change request exists. Confirm that the change was reviewed and approved before implementation. Review evidence of testing, such as test scripts or user acceptance testing results. Check for segregation of duties. The person who develops the change should not be the same person who approves or deploys it. Finally, confirm that migration to production was properly authorized and documented. Now, information technology operations. The objective here is to ensure that systems operate consistently, remain secure, and that issues are detected and resolved promptly. Key controls to test include job scheduling and monitoring, backup and recovery, incident and problem management, patch management, anti-malware protection. Let's look at how to test each of these. Job scheduling and monitoring ensures that automated system jobs are executed completely, accurately, and on time, and that failures are detected and resolved promptly. Real-life examples of system jobs include daily batch processing of customer transactions in a core banking system, end-of-day financial postings and general ledger updates in an ERP system, payroll processing jobs that calculate salaries and deductions, data synchronization jobs between applications, such as transferring data from a mobile app to a back-end database, backup jobs that run overnight to copy critical data. How to test? Review job schedules and system job logs. Identify failed or incomplete jobs and verify that they were investigated and resolved in a timely manner. Confirm that there is evidence of monitoring, such as logs, alerts, or dashboards. Backup and recovery ensures that critical data is backed up regularly and can be restored successfully in the event of data loss, system failure, or disaster. How to test? Verify that backups are performed regularly in line with policy. Review backup logs or reports for completeness and success status. Also, obtain evidence of periodic restoration testing to confirm that data can be recovered when needed. Next, incident and problem management ensures that system issues are properly identified, logged, investigated, and resolved in a timely manner, and that root causes are addressed to prevent recurrence. How to test? Select a sample of incidents from the incident management system. Verify that incidents were logged with appropriate details. Confirm that they were tracked, escalated where necessary, and resolved within defined timelines. For major or recurring issues, check whether root cause analysis was performed and documented. Now, for patch management. It ensures that systems are protected against known vulnerabilities by applying security patches in a timely manner. How to test? Select a sample of servers or applications. Verify that critical patches are applied in line with the organization's patching policy. This is confirmed by reviewing patch deployment reports or system logs as shown on the screen. Also confirm that patches are tested before deployment, especially in production environments. Finally, anti-malware controls ensures that systems are protected from malware threats and that malicious activities are detected and addressed promptly. How to test? Verify that anti-malware software is installed on all relevant systems. Check that virus definitions are up to date. Review logs or dashboards to confirm that regular scans are performed. Also confirm that malware alerts or incidents are properly investigated and resolved. Before we conclude, here are some important audit tips. Always obtain sufficient and appropriate audit evidence. Do not rely on verbal assurances. Ensure all evidence is documented. Use system-generated reports where possible, as they are more reliable. In summary, information technology, general controls provide the foundation for trust in systems. A strong ITGC environment ensures that access is controlled, changes are managed, systems operate reliably, data is recoverable, and systems are protected from vulnerabilities and malware. And as an auditor, your role is to independently verify that these controls are both well-designed and operating effectively. Thank you for watching, and watch out for the next episode.